Hi everyone, so this is sort of a Renee Responds and also Renee Reflects video regarding online booksellers versus physical bookstores and second-hand, cheaper, like discount bookstores versus your typical chain bookstore. Righto, so this kind of was sparked by an email that was sent out to a group, like a large portion of Australian bloggers and whatnot, from, who said it? Hatchet. It was Hatchet, I think. The lovely Teresa, who works as publicist over at Hatchet Australia, and she sent out an email kind of just requesting that the bloggers include Australian bookstores and online bookstores list them on their blogs so that they get publicity, because it tends to be, I believe, that blogs often link to things like Amazon, to stuff like the Book Depository, like international online booksellers that have things for cheap, have discounts, do it like, you know, free shipping, that kind of thing, as opposed to local bookstores like homegrown book retailers and things. And it was also just kind of a request to ask us as individual readers to go out and support and purchase things at our local Australian book retailers. And I know that like nothing but good stuff was meant by Teresa, and I completely agree in everything that she wrote in her email. And she meant it, you know, in a really nice way. It wasn't pestering anybody. It wasn't, you know, trying to force us into things. It wasn't trying to evoke guilt in anybody. But I mean, for me, I felt really bad while reading the email, because I know that I myself, it's very rarely that I will go and purchase a book at like Maclean's, which is the local independent retailer in like the nearby town. It's rare that I will go in there and actually purchase a book, because they, at the end of the day, it comes down to price. They are so expensive. A paperback book in the YA section will be like $24. A paperback book in the like adult general fiction section will be anywhere between $28 and $36 for a paperback adult book, and I can't afford it. When I was younger, I think mainly probably because back then it was my mum purchasing me books if I wanted them, it didn't really like bother me that much, because mind you, back then online retailers weren't really around. Amazon was there, but even then, well, even when I was little, Amazon didn't exist, sorry. But even then, with something like Amazon, it's not something it's been a very long time since I purchased a book from there, because their shipping is something that bothers me, and then you have the price conversion thing anyway, because it's in American dollars. So it comes down to money at the end of the day. I love the feel of going into a physical bookstore. I love browsing around. I love just being there. I love seeing its layout. I love the atmosphere. I love chatting to, if there's a friendly person working there, I love chatting to them. I love just being there and being around the books, and it's a great feeling. I was mortified and heartbroken when Borders closed. I was so upset when Angus and Robertson closed. Angus and Robertson especially were my favourite places to go, because there were always friendly folk working there, and I really loved the layout of them. But I loved Borders too, and I was so very sad when they closed. I admittedly always felt guilty if ever I shopped there, and I still do if I shop at Dimmicks or something like QBD, because they're expensive, and at the end of the day, I'm leaving there, if I've purchased 3 books, I'm leaving there with 3 books, having spent the money on those that I could have spent getting at least 6 books for that same price from the Book Depository. And the other thing is, when you take all price aside and out of the equation, at the end of the day, online retailers, because they're international, and they're based, you know, in America or England or wherever they are, tend to have a wider variety of things. They offer titles that you can't get readily or easily in a physical bookstore in this country. So I'm able to find titles that I want that just aren't available here or aren't easy to get. Like, you have to get them from overseas, and then you're offering, like, that involves the shipping cost, and it's more expensive because you have to pre-order and all that kind of thing. So it's just often easier and cheaper and more accessible to get something online, especially since I discovered Book Depository, and I love that place. Physical bookstores that I do go into, and this doesn't have the same ring to it, second-hand stores or discount stores. Like, you know that I've mentioned before, I love Basement Books in Sydney. Now, I don't know what the deal is, how it is they're able to get the books as cheap as they get them down there, and the selection is always very random, so you can't predict what's going to be there and what won't be there, and, you know, there's no set trend or pattern as to the kind of books they sell. So it's always hit and miss when you go down there. And I don't know how that comes about. I don't know the business side of things. I can't tell you what the profits are in terms of like the publisher and the author and how that kind of stuff works. But I do know that my preference is to go to there, obviously, because it's so much cheaper. You can get $2 and $3 books there. Like I wouldn't. At the end of the day, what Teresa mentioned in her email, and again, she didn't mean it in an accusatory, I can't word things, but she didn't mean to accuse anybody of this, but she spoke of loyalty to your local bookstore and to Australian publishers and that kind of thing. And I can understand where she's coming from, because I do feel disloyal when I purchase things from, like, the book depositories as opposed to going to my local store. But then I have to, at the end of the day, I have to look at my wallet and at my bank balance and think to myself, can I afford to buy this one book for that much? And I know that I can't. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles with me. If I had more money, would I buy more books at my local bookstores? Probably. I'd probably still feel a bit bad, because I'd still be looking at that price and thinking, is that one book worth all of that money? No. But I would have the means with which to indulge myself and, you know, do some guilty pleasure shopping. And I would enjoy doing that. I mean, it's really lovely going to a bookstore and purchasing a book. It's a great feeling. And, I don't know, I'm wondering what your opinions are on this. I don't want to see the end of bookstores. I really hope we never get, at least in my lifetime, I really hope we never arrive at a place when they've become utterly redundant and unnecessary. I don't want that to happen. For all the benefits of an online bookstore, it still doesn't have the same flavour and the same feel to it, and it's, you know, just the mere, like, excuse of going out and going to a place that sells books. It's just not the same thing. And I sincerely hope we don't get there. I don't know what the answer is, though, because I see no sign of Australian book prices lessening and going down any time soon, and I don't know how that would come about anyway. So I don't know what the solution is. I will try and purchase books from my local bookstores when and if I can. I'm happy to do that, but I can't do it very often. And our prices are ridiculous. There's no getting around it. It's not the fault of the booksellers, it's not the fault of those stores. But at the end of the day, it's still the reality, and, you know, it's not going to change, so I don't know what I can do, you see? So I'm just feeling a bit emotionally torn and very guilty, and I'm just wondering what everyone thinks. I'll link Misty's book chat from quite a while back. She talked about online versus physical bookstores, and she covered the same things, really, and she made more intelligent points because she's a bit more in the know with this area of things. My friend Beck did like a huge project at uni last year on this very thing, and I'm going to see if I can get her to link me to anything, because she's much more informed in this area. But yeah, this is sort of just me just venting because I feel bad, and I'm wondering what you guys think. Is the situation as dire in America? Because your book prices when I was over there were a great deal more generous and kind than ours are here, so I'm just wondering what the deal is over there. So, yeah, what do you think?